The notification sound from my wife's phone at 2:47 a.m. was the final straw. Veronica rolled over, grabbed her iPhone with the desperation of a junkie reaching for a fix, and started typing furiously. The blue glow illuminated her face, revealing that predatory smile I'd grown to despise over the past 6 months. "Working late again?" I asked, my voice dripping with sarcasm that could strip paint. "Client emergency," she whispered without looking at me. "Go back to sleep, Benjamin." "Right, because interior design emergencies definitely happen at 3 in the morning. "Sure, Veronica, and I'm the Pope." Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. I'm Benjamin Carter, 42 years old, financial analyst for a mid-sized firm in Portland, Maine. I've got what my wife's friends charitably call a dad bod, and what I call the result of sitting at a desk crunching numbers for 20 years. My hair's thinning, my metabolism's slowing, and apparently my wife's patience with our marriage faded somewhere around our 15th anniversary last year. The signs had been building like storm clouds on a summer day. Veronica started hitting the gym religiously, bought clothes that screamed, "Look at me," and developed a sudden obsession with her appearance that bordered on manic. She'd spend hours in front of the mirror, perfecting makeup for client meetings that somehow always ran past midnight. Her friends didn't help. Chelsea Morrison, Veronica's best friend and professional gossip, made comments about my spreadsheet personality and how V deserves someone more exciting. The whole social circle treated me like furniture, present but irrelevant. 3 weeks ago, I'd found Veronica's secret Instagram account, V Uncaged. The bio read, "Unattached and seeking fun," with a fire emoji. The photos were pure thirst traps, low-cut tops, pouty lips, and captions about being ready for adventure. Each post had hundreds of likes from men I didn't recognize, but it was the comments that really twisted the knife. One particular user, Liam D. Real Estate, appeared on every single photo with increasingly bold messages. "Gorgeous as always. Can't wait to see you tonight. And my personal favorite, your husband's a lucky man, if he still exists." I'd done my homework. Liam Drake, 38, real estate developer, drove a silver Porsche and owned half the trendy bars downtown. Classic gym bro type with perfectly styled hair and the kind of confident smirk that screamed, "I take what I want." The really infuriating part? Veronica thought she was being clever. She'd delete the evidence from her main phone but forgot about the automatic backups. 20 years as a financial analyst teaches you to check the numbers twice, and I'd been checking her numbers very carefully. Instead of confronting her directly like some emotional amateur, I decided to play a different game. If Veronica wanted to live a double life, I'd give her a taste of her own medicine with interest compounded daily. I created my own Instagram account, Ben Revamped. The photos were carefully staged, me at upscale restaurants, trying new hobbies, looking surprisingly decent in clothes that actually fit. The captions were masterpieces of subtle sarcasm. "Finally got my freedom," and "a perfectly grilled steak," and "turns out life's pretty great when you're not walking on eggshells." The response was immediate and beautiful. Veronica's social circle started following me, liking my posts, and most importantly, talking. In a town like Portland, gossip travels faster than bad weather, and soon everyone was whispering about Benjamin Carter's mysterious transformation. "Ben, what the hell is going on?" Sid Martinez, my work buddy, cornered me at the office coffee machine. "My wife saw your Instagram. She says Veronica's friends are losing their minds trying to figure out if you two are separated." I stirred my coffee slowly, savoring the moment. "Just exploring new interests, Sid. You know how it is, midlife and all that." "Dude, you posted a picture of yourself at Le Bernardin last night. That place costs more than my mortgage payment." "Sometimes you have to invest in yourself," I said, walking back to my desk with a smile that would make the Cheshire Cat jealous. The The beauty of my plan was its simplicity. I wasn't lying, cheating, or breaking any laws. I was just living my life publicly while Veronica tried to live hers secretly. The contrast was driving her absolutely insane. Last Tuesday, Chelsea had sent me a direct message. "Hey Ben, are you and V okay? She's been acting really weird lately, like really weird." I'd responded with perfect innocence. "Everything's fine on my end. Why do you ask?" The next morning, Veronica exploded. She stormed into the kitchen while I was making coffee, her face flushed with rage and panic. "What the hell are you doing with that Instagram account?" "Documenting my life," I replied calmly, not looking up from my newspaper. "Isn't that what social media is for?" "People are asking questions, Benjamin. My clients are confused." "About what?" "About us. About our marriage." I finally looked at her, letting my eyes travel from her perfectly styled hair to her designer workout clothes. "Maybe they should ask you about that. I hear you're unattached and seeking fun these days." The color drained from her face. She opened her mouth, closed it, then opened it again like a fish gasping for air. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Sure you don't?" I folded my newspaper and stood up. "By the way, tell Liam I said hello, and that his taste in cars is almost as predictable as his pickup lines." That evening, Veronica's behavior shifted into full panic mode. She was deleting posts, changing passwords, and making frantic phone calls to Chelsea. I could hear her in the bedroom. "I don't know how he found out. No, I can't just delete everything now, it looks suspicious. What do you mean everyone's talking about his Instagram?" The next phase of my plan required patience and perfect timing. I started going to Liam's gym, not to confront him but to observe. The guy was exactly what I'd expected: loud, arrogant, and completely lacking in discretion. Friday afternoon, I was in the locker room when Liam walked in with two other guys, all of them reeking of protein powder and entitlement. "I'm telling you, married women are the best," Liam was saying as he opened his locker. "They're grateful for the attention, and they don't expect commitment." "What about the husbands?" one of his friends asked. Liam laughed, a sound like nails on a chalkboard. "Most of them are clueless. I'm bagging this interior designer right now, hot as hell, married to some boring accountant. She sends me photos that would make a porn star blush." I discreetly pulled out my phone and started recording. "The husband has no idea," Liam continued, stripping off his shirt. "Guy's probably at home doing spreadsheets while I'm doing his wife. She told me he's got a dad bod and the personality of wet cardboard." "Damn, dude, that's cold." "Hey, if he can't keep his woman satisfied, that's not my problem. Natural selection, you know?" I had everything I needed. Liam's confession, in his own words, with perfect audio quality. But I wasn't done yet. That weekend, I put the next phase into motion. I knew Liam would be at Vintage, the trendy bar downtown, because Veronica had suddenly developed an interest in their craft cocktails. I arrived early, positioned myself at the bar with a clear view of the entrance, and waited. They walked in together at 9:30, Veronica looking stunning in a black dress I'd never seen before, and Liam in his standard uniform of expensive jeans and a shirt that was one size too small to show off his gym work. I watched them for an hour, nursing my whiskey and taking discreet photos. They weren't hiding their relationship, touching, laughing, feeding each other appetizers like teenagers. It was almost insulting how little they cared about being seen. When they left, I followed at a distance. Liam's silver Porsche was parked in the lot behind his condo building, and I memorized every detail of its location. Sunday night, while Veronica was at her book club, which I knew was actually another date with Liam, I made my move. The parking garage was dimly lit and mostly empty. Liam's Porsche sat in its designated spot, like a monument to douchebaggery. I'd come prepared. The bright pink decal reading "Adulterer" went across the hood, perfectly centered and impossible to miss. The shrimp shells went into the air vents, not enough to damage anything, but enough to create a smell that would take weeks to eliminate. And the fake parking ticket, printed on official-looking paper, was tucked under the windshield wiper. Violation, excessive douchebaggery, fine, your reputation. Then I walked to Murphy's Pub across the street, ordered another whiskey, and waited for the show. Liam's reaction was everything I'd hoped for and more. He came out of the building at 11:47 p.m., probably heading home after his romantic evening with my wife. The scream of rage echoed through the parking garage when he saw his precious car. He tried to peel off the decal, but I'd used industrial-strength adhesive. He slipped on the shrimp shells that had fallen out when he opened the door, landing hard on his ass. A couple walking by started filming with their phones, and by morning, the video was circulating through social media with the hashtag adulterous Porsche. Monday morning brought the confrontation I'd been waiting for. Veronica burst into my office during lunch, her face red with fury and embarrassment. "You vandalized Liam's car." "Did I?" I leaned back in my chair, enjoying the moment. "That's a serious accusation, Veronica. Do you have any proof?" "Don't play games with me, Benjamin. This has gone too far." "Has it?" "Because from where I'm sitting, it feels like we're just getting started." She looked around my office, suddenly aware that my coworkers were watching through the glass walls. "We need to talk privately." "I think we're past the point of private conversations, don't you? After all, you've been having those with Liam for months." "Lower your voice." "Why? Afraid people might hear the truth?" I stood up, moving closer to her. "Here's what's going to happen, Veronica. You're going to go home, pack your things, and move in with your boyfriend. We both know this marriage is over. You can't just— Actually, I can. I've already filed for divorce. My lawyer has copies of your Instagram account, photos of you with Liam, and some very interesting audio recordings from his gym." Her face went white. "You recorded him?" "He's quite the conversationalist when he thinks no one important is listening. Very detailed about his conquest strategies." "This is blackmail." "No, this is consequences. There's a difference." That evening, I implemented the final phase of my plan. The Portland Design Expo was the biggest event of the year for Veronica's industry. All her clients, competitors, and potential customers would be there. She was scheduled to present her latest project on the main stage. Sid had a friend in the AV department who owed him a favor. Getting access to the presentation system was surprisingly easy when you knew the right people and brought the right bottles of wine. I arrived early, positioned myself in the back of the auditorium, and waited. Veronica took the stage at 3 p.m., looking professional and confident in her tailored suit. She began her presentation about creating authentic spaces for modern living. That's when I triggered the override. The screen behind her filled with screenshots from her Uncaged Instagram account. The unattached and seeking fun bio appeared in 48-point font, followed by her thirstiest photos. The audience gasped, then started murmuring as they recognized the presenter. But I wasn't finished. Liam's audio confession began playing through the sound system. "I'm bagging this interior designer right now, hot as hell, married to some boring accountant." Veronica spun around, saw her secret life displayed for everyone to see, and froze like a deer in headlights. The murmuring turned to shocked laughter, then to disgusted whispers as Liam's voice continued describing his conquest in graphic detail. "She sends me photos that would make a porn star blush. Guy's probably at home doing spreadsheets while I'm doing his wife." Someone in the audience shouted, "Is that your husband in the spreadsheet comment?" Laughter rippled through the crowd. Veronica tried to speak, but her microphone had been cut. She looked around desperately, then ran off the stage as the audience erupted in chaos. I slipped out through the back exit, but not before hearing several of her former clients discussing how they couldn't work with someone so unprofessional and what kind of business owner lies about being single. By evening, the video had gone viral in Portland's social circles. Design Expo Meltdown was trending locally, and Veronica's professional reputation was in ruins. She came home that night, like a hurricane of rage and desperation. "You destroyed my career." "No, Veronica. You destroyed your career when you decided to cheat on your husband and lie to your clients. I just made sure people knew who they were really dealing with. You humiliated me in front of everyone. You humiliated yourself. I just provided the platform. Liam says you're psychotic. He wants to press charges." I laughed, a sound that surprised both of us. "For what? Showing people your public Instagram posts? Playing audio of him bragging in a public locker room? Good luck with that. This isn't over." "Yes, it is. Your things are packed. Chelsea's waiting outside to help you move them. And Veronica?" I walked to the window and pointed to the driveway. "You might want to ask Liam about his other girlfriend. The blonde from your yoga class. Chelsea has some very interesting photos." I watched through the window as Veronica walked to Chelsea's car, her shoulders shaking with sobs. Chelsea handed her a tablet, and even from the second floor, I could see Veronica's face crumble as she scrolled through whatever evidence Chelsea had gathered. The next morning brought the final piece of poetic justice. Liam, apparently unable to handle the social humiliation, had tried to vandalize my car in retaliation. Unfortunately for him, I'd installed a security camera after the first incident. The footage was beautiful. Liam sneaking around my driveway at 3 a.m., keying my Honda Civic with the concentrated fury of a man whose world was falling apart. His face was clearly visible, and his silver Porsche with its pink adulterer decal was parked right under a streetlight. I uploaded the video to social media with the caption, "When you can't handle the consequences of your own actions, Portland PD, this one's for you." The response was immediate and overwhelming. Comments poured in supporting me and condemning Liam's behavior. Several people shared their own stories of being cheated on, creating a wave of sympathy and solidarity. But the real victory came 3 days later when Liam's business partner, Marcus Webb, called me directly. "Mr. Carter, this is Marcus Webb from Drake and Webb Development. I wanted to apologize personally for my partner's behavior and let you know that we've dissolved our partnership effective immediately." "I appreciate that, Mr. Webb. Between you and me, Liam's been a liability for months. This situation just gave me the excuse I needed to cut ties. We can't have our company associated with this kind of behavior." Within a week, Liam had lost his business, his reputation, and according to Chelsea's latest gossip, his lease on the downtown condo. He'd moved back in with his parents in Bangor, a 38-year-old man reduced to explaining to his mother why his car had a pink sticker calling him an adulterer. Veronica fared slightly better, but not by much. 3 major clients canceled their contracts, citing concerns about professionalism and honesty. Her remaining friends distanced themselves, afraid of being associated with the scandal. She'd moved into a studio apartment across town and was apparently working at a furniture store to pay the bills. The divorce proceedings were swift and clean. With all the evidence I'd gathered, Veronica's lawyer advised her to accept my terms without contest. She kept her car and half our savings. I kept the house and my dignity. 6 months later, I was sitting in my favorite restaurant, the same one where this whole thing started, when Chelsea approached my table. "Benjamin, can I sit down?" I gestured to the empty chair. "What can I do for you, Chelsea?" I wanted to apologize and to thank you. "That's an interesting combination." She fidgeted with her purse strap. "Veronica was my friend, but she was also toxic. She manipulated people, used them, and threw them away when she was done. I enabled her because I was afraid of being her next target. And now? Now I realize that watching someone destroy their own life is actually worse than being their enemy." She looked up at me with something that might have been respect. "You didn't just get revenge, Benjamin. You held up a mirror and made everyone see who she really was." I just wanted the truth to come out. Well, it did. And for what it's worth, I think you handled it perfectly. No violence, No illegal behavior, just consequences for actions. After she left, I sat there thinking about the past year. I'd lost a wife, but I'd gained something more valuable: self-respect. I discovered that I was capable of strategic thinking, careful planning, and decisive action when it mattered. My phone buzzed with a text from Sid. "Drinks tonight? I want to hear more about your master plan." I smiled and typed back, "Sure, but I'm buying. I've got a lot to celebrate." As I walked out of the restaurant, I passed a newsstand with the local paper. The headline read, "Social Media Revenge: When Private Lives Go Public." My story had become a cautionary tale about the dangers of digital deception and the power of truth in the age of social media. I bought a copy for my scrapbook. After all, every good story deserves proper documentation.